Hey guys, welcome to Algebra 1/2. We are on lesson 85. Just was checking to make sure I fixed the number on the board. Okay, we're talking about opposites. Okay, so let's say that I have the number 2 marked on my number line. What would be the opposite of 2? Well, that's really easy. It's the number that's opposite 2 from 0, which would be -2, because this one's 2 spaces on this side. So -2 is 2 spaces on the other side. So the opposite is -2. So when I see 2 and -2, I could read that as, instead of -2, the opposite of 2. So if I have more than one negative sign, I can read this as the opposite of 2. Well, if the opposite of 2 is -2, then the opposite of -2, we jump back to 2. Interesting. What about the opposite of the opposite of the opposite of 2? Well, I have 3 opposites. So the opposite of 2 is -2, the opposite of the opposite is +2, and the opposite of that is -2. So I jump back again. Same thing here. Opposite of the opposite of the opposite of the opposite. I have 4, so I jump back and forth 4 times. Opposite, 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 opposite. 2. Now don't worry, it's not going to stay confusing like that. I just want you to keep it in your mind that that's what we're thinking about. Look at this. If I have the opposite of 2, I know that that's what? -2, right? Simple. Hold on, can't grab my marker. Okay, so that would be -2. When I have -2 times -2, I know that 2 times 2 is 4. When I have 2 negatives, they become a positive, so that would become +4. How about this one? -2 times -2 times -2. Well, -2 times -2, +4. +4 times -2, well, a positive times a negative is going to be a negative, and 4 times 2 is 8. Okay, how about this one? -2 times -2, +4. Times -2, -8. Times -2, +16. Let's try another one. -2 times -2, +4. Times -2, -8. Times -2, +16. Times -2, -32. Negative, positive, negative, positive, negative. So all of these things show us a pattern. When I have an odd number of negative signs, my answer is negative. When I have an even number of negative signs, my answer is positive. So using that information, I can simplify something like this, where I have the opposite of 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 7. Just count up your negative signs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have an odd number of negative signs. So this means that this is equal to -7. How about this one? The opposite of the opposite of the opposite of the opposite of 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, I have an even number of negative signs, so it's a +6. Okay, so I can use that now to solve multiplication problems. I have 1, 2, 3 negative signs. So that means that my answer, I know automatically, is going to be negative. So now I can just focus on the numbers. 4 times 2 is 8. And 8 times 5 is 40. -40. Okay, let's try this one. -2 times -2, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 negatives. There we go. So that means since I have an even number of negatives, my answer will be positive. So I multiply. 2 times 2 is 4, times 3 is 12, times 3 is 36, times 1 is 36, times 1 is 36. So I know I get a positive 36. Okay, that's simple, right? Let's try our practice. Pause your video now, look at letter A, or pause your video now and do your practice. Okay, you should be back looking at letter A. You should have -3. Letter B, +2. Letter C, +16. Letter D, -5. Now letter E just says, is the sign of this product positive or negative? You didn't actually have to do the multiplication, you just needed to tell me positive or negative. So count the negative signs. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's an odd number, so it means your answer will be negative. Okay, that's it for our lesson today. Have a wonderful day, guys, and I'll see you in our next lesson. Bye.